There is one lesson that separates people who are constantly exhausted by others from those who remain calm in almost every situation. It is not that calm people never face disrespect, criticism, or unfair treatment. They do. The difference is that they have learned to master their minds before they react. This is one of the greatest disciplines you can ever develop. Before you try to control the world around you, learn to control what happens within you. Most people believe anger is caused by someone else's behavior. They think, they made me angry. But if you observe carefully, you will realize something different. The event itself is only a trigger. The anger is created by the meaning your mind attaches to that event. Two people can experience the exact same situation, yet one becomes furious while the other remains completely peaceful. The difference is not the situation. The difference is the level of mastery each person has over their own mind. Imagine someone insults you. The words enter your ears, but before you respond, your mind begins creating a story. It says, "How dare they speak to me like that?" It begins collecting memories of past offenses. It starts predicting future conflicts. Within seconds, your heartbeat increases, your muscles tighten, and your emotions take control. Yet none of this happened because of the words alone. It happened because your mind immediately reacted without awareness. This is why the first practice is to create a pause between the event and your response. That pause is where your freedom lives. Without it, you become a prisoner of every opinion, every criticism, and every difficult person you encounter. But when you create that small moment of awareness, you gain the ability to choose your response instead of being controlled by your emotions. Think about nature. A mountain does not move because the wind blows against it. The ocean does not become weaker because storms pass over its surface. In the same way, your inner peace should not disappear simply because someone behaves badly. Their behavior belongs to them. Your response belongs to you. This does not mean becoming emotionally numb or pretending that hurtful things never happen. It means refusing to let temporary emotions become permanent decisions. Many people destroy relationships, careers, and opportunities because they react during moments of anger. A few uncontrolled seconds can create consequences that last for years. Wisdom teaches us that strength is not measured by how loudly we defend ourselves, but by how wisely we choose our actions. Whenever you feel anger beginning to rise, notice it without immediately acting upon it. Feel your breathing. Observe the tension in your body. Simply recognize that the emotion is present. Instead of saying, "I am angry," tell yourself, "Anger is appearing within me." This small change reminds you that the emotion is temporary. It is an experience passing through you, not your identity. As you practice this consistently, something remarkable begins to happen. Situations that once disturbed you lose their power. The comments that used to ruin your entire day become nothing more than passing sounds. You stop carrying unnecessary emotional weight because you realize that peace is more valuable than proving yourself right. Many conflicts continue not because people disagree, but because neither person is willing to pause. One reacts to the other, then the other reacts back, creating an endless cycle. But someone who has mastered the mind breaks that cycle. Instead of adding more anger to the situation, they introduce clarity. Sometimes silence is more powerful than the perfect argument. Sometimes walking away demonstrates greater strength than winning a debate. Remember that every difficult person you meet is also fighting battles you cannot see. This understanding does not excuse harmful behavior, but it helps you respond with wisdom instead of hatred. People often speak from their own pain, fear, insecurity, or frustration. When you understand this, you stop taking everything personally. You realize that many people's actions reveal more about their inner struggles than about your worth. A disciplined mind also understands that not every opinion deserves attention. If someone who knows nothing about your journey criticizes you, why should their words determine your emotional state? If you allow every stranger's opinion to enter your heart, you will never experience lasting peace. Learn to listen selectively. Accept constructive feedback with gratitude, but release meaningless negativity without carrying it forward. This level of self-control is not built in one day. Just as muscles grow stronger through repeated training, your mind becomes stronger through daily practice. Every moment you choose patience over impulse, awareness over reaction, and understanding over anger, you strengthen your character. The next challenge becomes easier because you have already trained yourself to remain centered. Eventually, people may even notice the change in you. They will wonder why situations that once upset you no longer affect you. They may mistake your calmness for weakness, but true calmness is never weakness. It is the confidence of someone who no longer needs to prove anything. It is the quiet power of someone who understands that protecting inner peace is far more valuable than winning every argument. When you master your mind before you react, you stop giving the outside world control over your emotional life. You become steady when others are unstable, patient when others are impulsive, and peaceful when others are overwhelmed. This is the foundation of emotional freedom, and it is the first step toward becoming truly unshakable. Remember, the greatest victory is never over another person. It is over your own reactions. Once you begin mastering your own reactions, another powerful transformation becomes possible. You stop giving other people control over your peace. This is one of the most liberating lessons a person can learn. So many people unknowingly hand over the keys to their emotional well-being every single day. They allow a stranger's comment, a coworker's attitude, a family member's criticism, or even someone's silence to determine whether they feel happy or miserable. The moment your peace depends on how everyone else behaves, you have surrendered your freedom. Think about how often people say, "I'll be happy when they apologize," or "I can't relax because they don't respect me." These statements may sound reasonable, but they reveal something important. They place the responsibility for inner peace into someone else's hands. If your emotional balance depends entirely on another person's actions, then you are giving them authority over your inner world. The truth is that no one should have that kind of power over you. One of the greatest misunderstandings in life is believing that peace comes after the world finally treats us fairly. But life has never worked that way. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be criticism, disappointment, rejection, and unexpected challenges. If your peace depends on eliminating all of those experiences, you will spend your entire life waiting for a day that never arrives. Instead, peace begins the moment you decide that your response matters more than someone else's behavior. This does not mean ignoring problems or pretending that hurtful actions are acceptable. It means recognizing that while you cannot always control what happens around you, you can always practice choosing how you respond. That choice becomes your greatest source of strength. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Every insult, every betrayal, every disappointment becomes another stone you place inside. At first, it feels manageable. But as the years pass, the weight becomes exhausting. Eventually, you begin wondering why life feels so difficult. The answer is often simple. You are still carrying burdens that should have been put down long ago. Many people confuse holding on to anger with protecting themselves. They believe that if they continue replaying painful memories, they are somehow preventing future hurt. In reality, they are only reliving the same suffering again and again. The person who offended them may have moved on years ago, while they continue carrying the emotional consequences every single day. Learning to let go is not about saying that what happened was right. It is about refusing to let yesterday continue stealing today's peace. Forgiveness, in its deepest sense, is not always about restoring a relationship. Sometimes it is simply about releasing yourself from the prison of resentment. You free your own heart long before you free anyone else. Another reason people lose their peace is because they constantly seek approval from others. They want everyone to understand them, appreciate them, agree with them, and admire them. But this is an impossible goal. Every person views the world through different experiences, beliefs, fears, and expectations. No matter how kind or sincere you are, someone will misunderstand you. Someone will criticize your choices. Someone will dislike you without truly knowing you. The moment you accept this reality, something remarkable happens. You stop exhausting yourself trying to manage everyone's opinions. Instead, you focus on living according to your values rather than chasing universal approval. This shift creates incredible emotional freedom because you no longer measure your worth by other people's reactions. A wise person understands that not every invitation deserves acceptance, and not every argument deserves participation. Sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is choosing not to engage. Imagine someone trying to hand you a gift that you never accept. Who does the gift remain with? The one offering it. In the same way, when someone offers anger, insults, or unnecessary conflict, you do not have to receive it. You can simply let it remain with them. This does not require weakness. In fact, it demands tremendous inner strength. Reacting impulsively is often easy. Remaining composed when emotions rise requires discipline. It takes confidence to walk away from an argument you could have won. It takes maturity to remain silent when your pride demands that you speak. But these choices protect something far more valuable than your ego. They protect your peace. It is also important to recognize how much energy is wasted worrying about things beyond our control. We replay conversations that have already ended. We imagine future arguments that may never happen. We spend hours thinking about what someone else meant by a simple comment. All this mental activity drains our attention from the only place where life actually exists, the present moment. Every minute spent trapped in resentment is a minute that cannot be invested in growth, joy, or meaningful relationships. Ask yourself this simple question whenever someone disturbs your peace. Is this situation worthy of my energy? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. Spend it wisely. There will always be people who choose negativity. Some complain constantly. Others criticize everything around them. Some seek conflict because conflict has become their habit. If you allow yourself to absorb every emotion they project, you will eventually become just as restless as they are. But when your peace comes from within rather than from external circumstances, their emotional storms no longer become your storms. This inner stability grows stronger each time you choose understanding over resentment, patience over frustration, and wisdom over impulse. Gradually, you realize that protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. A peaceful mind makes better decisions. A peaceful heart builds healthier relationships. A peaceful spirit responds to life with clarity rather than confusion. When you stop giving others power over your emotions, you reclaim something priceless. You no longer wait for the world to become perfect before allowing yourself to be at peace. Instead, you carry that peace with you wherever you go, regardless of who stands before you or what challenges arise. That is true emotional independence, and it is one of the greatest forms of freedom a human being can experience. Always remember, your peace is your responsibility. Never place it in someone else's hands. By the time you have learned to master your reactions and stopped allowing other people to control your inner peace, you are ready for the final transformation. Every difficult person, every uncomfortable conversation, every disappointment, and every unexpected obstacle can now become a tool for your own growth. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What is this situation teaching me?" That single shift changes the direction of your entire life. Most people see challenges as interruptions to their happiness. They wish difficult people would disappear so life could finally become peaceful. But wisdom teaches something very different. The strongest trees do not grow because the weather is always gentle. They grow because they have survived countless storms. In the same way, your character is not built during comfortable moments. It is shaped during moments that test your patience, your discipline, and your emotional stability. Imagine a sword being forged. It must endure intense heat and repeated strikes before it becomes strong enough to fulfill its purpose. If the metal could speak, it might complain about every blow it receives. Yet without those blows, it would never become a sword. Human character develops in much the same way. Every challenge is shaping you into someone wiser, calmer, and more resilient. If you choose to learn from it instead of resisting it. Whenever someone behaves unfairly toward you, you have two options. The first is to become consumed by anger, replay the situation endlessly, and allow bitterness to grow. The second is to ask yourself, what quality can I strengthen because of this experience? Perhaps this person is teaching you patience. Perhaps they are helping you develop emotional discipline. Perhaps they are revealing an attachment to approval that you did not know existed. Suddenly, the situation is no longer simply a problem. It has become a teacher. This does not mean you should seek suffering or allow people to mistreat you without setting healthy boundaries. Wisdom includes knowing when to leave unhealthy environments and when to protect yourself. But even when you choose to walk away, you can still leave with greater understanding instead of greater resentment. Every experience can either leave you wounded or leave you wiser. The choice belongs to you. One of the greatest obstacles to inner growth is the belief that life should always be comfortable. Comfort is pleasant, but comfort rarely transforms us. Think about every important lesson you have learned. Most of them probably came during seasons of uncertainty, disappointment, failure, or hardship. Those moments forced you to reflect, adapt, and discover strengths you never knew you possessed. The same principle applies to dealing with difficult people. Every encounter becomes an opportunity to practice the qualities you admire. If you wish to become patient, someone impatient will eventually appear in your life. If you wish to develop forgiveness, someone will eventually hurt you. If you desire emotional stability, life will present situations that test whether your peace is truly rooted within you or merely dependent on favorable circumstances. Many people spend years searching for the perfect environment where nothing ever challenges them. But perfection is not the goal. Growth is. If every person treated you exactly as you wished, how would you ever develop resilience? If every conversation ended in agreement, how would you learn understanding? If every day unfolded according to your plans, how would you discover adaptability? Life continuously provides opportunities to strengthen your inner foundation. The question is whether you recognize them when they appear. A wise person does not waste difficult experiences. They extract wisdom from every disappointment. They become students of life itself. Another powerful habit is learning to observe your own patterns. Whenever someone upsets you, ask yourself why the situation affected you so deeply. Was it truly because of what they said, or did their words touch an insecurity you have not yet healed? Sometimes the greatest lessons come not from changing other people, but from understanding ourselves more honestly. Self-awareness transforms conflict into personal development. Instead of blaming everyone around you, you become curious about your own reactions. You begin noticing recurring emotional patterns. Perhaps criticism always hurts because you seek perfection. Perhaps rejection feels unbearable because you fear being unworthy. These realizations are gifts. They reveal where your next stage of growth awaits. At the same time, never underestimate the power of daily discipline. Emotional resilience is not created through occasional inspiration. It grows through consistent practice. Every morning offers a new opportunity to begin with clarity. Every conversation gives you another chance to respond with wisdom. Every challenge becomes another repetition in the gymnasium of the mind. Gradually, something extraordinary begins to happen. The situations that once drained your energy become opportunities to demonstrate your progress. You notice yourself remaining calm during conversations that previously would have triggered frustration. You recover more quickly from disappointment. You spend less time dwelling on negativity and more time focusing on meaningful action. People around you may even notice this transformation before you do. They may ask why you seem more peaceful. They may wonder why criticism no longer shakes your confidence, or why difficult circumstances no longer overwhelm you. The answer is simple. You have stopped expecting life to remove every obstacle, and instead, you have allowed every obstacle to strengthen your character. True strength is not measured by how many battles you fight. It is measured by how much wisdom you gain from every battle you face. The goal is not to become someone who never experiences difficulty. The goal is to become someone whose inner stability remains unshaken regardless of difficulty. Eventually, you realize that every person who entered your life played a role in shaping who you became. Some encouraged you. Some challenged you. Some disappointed you. Some inspired you. Every one of them contributed something valuable. Without the difficult moments, you would never have discovered the depth of your patience, the strength of your discipline, or the resilience of your spirit. When you embrace every challenge as an opportunity for growth, you no longer fear difficult people or uncomfortable situations. You welcome each experience as another step on the path toward wisdom, because you understand that your greatest teacher is not comfort, it is life itself. Remember, every challenge can either break your spirit or build your character. The choice is always yours.